the chat here. Okay, and let's go live.
Perfect.
Okay, I think we're live. Sorry that we're a bit late. I had some technical difficulties getting all the audio and video all up there. Can you guys hear us all right? We are Warsaken, I see in chat. So many friends here. I hope you're all great. Nah, that's great. Okay, hi everybody. I'm Nick. I'm joined here with Coleman from the Warsaken team. And we're a bit late. Sorry for that. How are you doing?
I'm doing awesome. So good to see so many of the Legion here. Good to see you guys. Thanks for showing up. Seeing some new faces I don't recognize too. So good to meet your crowd as well. I know I've been looking forward to this for a while. I've known you for a little bit, but I've been following you, and we've kind of brushed past each other in the space for a while. I know you've been around forever and have had your hands in a lot of different things. So I'm excited to talk to you, see what questions you have.
Yeah, I was actually surprised to hear that you've been in wax for a long time as well, because I was in the Anders interview as well, and I heard you talk that you were here like for a year now already as well, right?
Yeah, I got into it at the end of last year. Yep, last year I got into it, and it kind of consumed my life. That's all I've done for the last year, pretty much, is just wax NFTs.
Yeah, I'm the same. I discovered it like at the start of this year, and yeah, it's been all wax ever since. So
yeah, and you. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just really curious to find out more about the game, because I have the video running in the bottom here. I think people can see it, and it has such an amazing soundtrack. I remember the first time that I saw the site and I heard that song, I had it on for like 10 times.
Yeah, I never get sick of seeing it. I can watch it over and over again, and I've seen it, hundreds of times already. But love how it turned out, and it just goes to show how excellent our design team is, because that was all made in house. We did get the music produced outside, and the voice actor came from outside, but all done by our team. And so you can see that bleeds over to the quality of the cards and the game and everything we do. We want to be at that level.
Yeah, the quality is something that you talked about before. I'm just really curious to see how it all pans out, and I want to know more about the game as well. So, but first things first, tomorrow you guys are dropping packs, right?
Yes, tomorrow is the day we've been building up to basically all year. Like we decided in April that we were going to do this, that we were going to bring this game that was already built in the physical world to the blockchain and bring it to wax. And so we've been working really hard, the whole team, since then. And tomorrow it's finally coming to wax. So we're about 27 hours away at this point, almost.
Yeah, that's something that I think most people have seen this, but I'm don't have my premium on the channel that I stream. But like the cards, you have the full game produced as well. Like with the high gloss card. So it started as a physical game, or did you start it as a digital idea?
Yeah, it started as a physical game, and the team was getting ready to launch it. They had brought me on board to write some of the lore and the backstory. So I was working with the team as a freelance writer, and I knew they were planning on printing physical cards, getting the game shops and things like that. And I had been in wax for months, and I went to them and I said, if you guys bring this to wax, it'll blow everybody away. I was even like, I don't have anything to gain, because I was just working hourly for them at that point. But I really pushed them to take a look. And as soon as they did, they were like, yeah, this is what we need to do. This is where we're going to start off. We're going to launch digital and then go to physical. And then they invited me to be on the team and be the crypto strategist and help with all the marketing, bring everybody on board. And it's just been awesome ever since. I remember when we had our first, the countdown timer up, and it was like 104 days. And now you look at it, it's 1 day and 4 hours, and it's like, oh man, I just can't even believe that we're here, that we're this close. A lot of people, we hear almost every day, oh man, too bad I missed out on Warsaken, because people see
it looks so polished already, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they see the cards on Atomic Hub, how many are out there, and everyone talking about it. But we haven't sold a single card yet. Tomorrow's our initial sale, and we're very excited. The Legion is super excited about it, and it looks like things are gonna go awesome.
Yeah, because like everything that you guys have done and how you present it all, it just looks amazing and polished to a T. It's like the website, the graphics, the audio, it looks very, very good. You have all the merch already, like the video
Yeah.
that I pulled up just now. This was you and your son, right?
Yeah, my son and I, we got to be the models for the gameplay video. We played Warsaken Blitz, which is a light strategy. It's a 10-minute version. We played a full Warsaken game, which is about a 30-minute game, and then I played a solo Cabal, which is you against the deck, which is something I'm really excited about because especially with the strategy game where it's a little bit more involved, and you got to have someone to play with if you want to play physical cards. This is one you can sit down, set up the mat and just turn over cards and play against the table itself. And it gets harder each level you go. It's a good way to test decks. If you make a deck and you want to see if it's any good, you can play all day long against the Cabal and see how it performs. It takes a lot of strategy once you get more than 1 leader. Like you start out 1 leader at a time, and then you go 2 leaders, and then three. And so you have to strategize against all three of them, and the forces come out really quick. It's a lot of fun, but it it takes a lot more strategy, in my opinion, than playing in either of the other versions.
Yeah, I have so many questions. It's just I don't know where to start. But just looking at this, I watched the video earlier. It's like the whole room is set up, and I just like the level of detail that went into everything is really cool, and it's really nice to see something this high production value on wax. Like so much stuff, it just shows all the attention to details, and that's really cool. Like also
Thanks. We
the
really,
hmm?
sorry. We really do believe in Wax, and we think it's a great platform to build on. We think we'll see more and more games like this coming to Wax. And we are a game first company. So for us, it's all about building a game that's tons of fun to play and that draws people, and then letting that drive everything from pack sales to our staking to the tokenomics and everything else.
Yeah, and Wax is an ideal platform for that. It's like
Yeah.
one of the few blockchains that have no fees, so that just enables you to do lots of things on chain that are not possible in other places. So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, and as you know, the community here is awesome with all the other collections, Atomic Hub and Nifty Blocks and NFT Hive. We've worked with all of them, and they've been good to work with. It's and our programmers, our developers like the API tie-ins and how we were able to build our own system and tie in the way that we did. So yeah, everything it was a perfect spot for us to land.
Yeah,
Can
yeah,
I? So
sure.
I brought some codes. Is it all right if we drop those early in the broadcast? I know we usually like to wait till the end, but my
Sure, we already
developers
kept
asked
people
me.
rating. Yeah, yeah, we can do that. That's actually
Okay.
something I wanted to talk about because you do a lot of stuff on the side as well. Like you have a whole system. Maybe explain it for people that don't know yet, but usually you have like two codes and there's a chance of them
Yes.
to redeem. And why don't you take it?
Exactly.
I,
So
I can pull
I'll,
up the
I'll give the
sites.
website first. You can post the site. It's warsaken.cards/redeem. And if you have a Wax wallet, you just go there and log in. And then I'm going to drop two codes. One of them is a code for 500 promos. So if you enter that code, then you will mint one of the 500 promos. If you enter the other code, you will mint one of the 50 black camos, which is a heroic level rarity for us. And so you won't know which is which. We're gonna drop two codes. There's the screen. Um, and yeah, so you enter one, you take your chances, and hopefully have good luck. All of these cards are playable in the game. They're stakeable, and the promos are upgradable. So you can combine those with other promos and other common cards to upgrade them to more powerful cards that'll earn you more XP.
So is that a blend system that you do on Nefty, or is that something you do on your own site? I haven't done it
It's
yet.
on our site. Yeah, it's on our own site, and it is a blend where you take five of the same card and upgrade them to another card. We have first wave upgrade cards that we're going to sell on the 18th, and those can be substituted for any card in any upgrade. So you need at least two of the same card, and then you can either use five of the same card or substitute some first wave cards to upgrade to that next level. And if you use these upgrade cards, it boosts the XP that you'll earn, and XP is what gives you loot.
Okay, that's cool. So you want to drop them now, or
Yeah, should I drop them or should I send them to you in the chat for you to put on screen? How
Yeah,
would you
people
like to do
can't
it?
won't be able to type them over, so I think dropping them in chat will be, or unless you want to make it hard for them.
Let's do that. Let me send them to you, and you put them on screen to give everyone a second to type them in.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll send them to you on Discord. Does that work?
That works. Let me just move the
Okay.
Discord screen off screen.
Oops, I put the first one there. So
Okay.
here's the second one. Okay, they're both in there.
Okay, and I'll just show them at the same time, and people can pick, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. And good luck, everybody. We have dropped a number of them today in our Discord, so a lot of people are on cooldown, and so
There's a
some
good
people won't be
chance
able to claim it.
people.
Yeah, so people, yeah, your fans that haven't been in there and haven't claimed anything today will have a good shot at getting them. Sorry
Okay.
about those that are still on cooldown. We do have one more drop in our Discord later today that you can get in on if you miss out on this one. And the promo should last at least long enough, I would hope, for people to claim these. We'll see.
Okay, that's cool. I've put them on the screen right now, so there will be a short delay for people on YouTube, but they will see it. But now I
Good
understand the
luck,
20
everybody.
minute request. People in chat are saying, Please give us 20 minutes more." But those will
Yeah,
be the ones on sh- uh, on cooldown.
as you know, in the space that when you have a collection, especially if you're doing large numbers of things, you have to have CPU staked for your collection. You have to have a certain amount of RAM, and so our developers have been balancing that for months now as we've pre-minted all of our cards. Not just these cards that we're doing, but we've got over 2 million cards pre-minted already that are going to
Oh
go into
wow,
packs.
yeah,
And
that
so
takes
it's
a bit.
taken us months. Yeah, even though we have over 100,000 wax staked, it's still taken us that much time to get everything minted and ready for the launch.
Yeah.
So I apologize to those that missed one. We do have one more in our Discord that'll be coming up in a couple hours. So if you missed this one, then you can jump in and get that one in about 2.5 hours.
But I
If you
really
do
like
get this one,
this system. Like, um, normally the way to do things, to give away things on wax, is you either have like a drop, right, on Atomic Help or on Nefty, but those get botted pretty heavily. So usually they have to either add a fee to the claims, or right, or you have
exactly.
the trade links, but there are fake websites that if you don't watch what you sign, you're in trouble. So I really
Yeah,
like this way. It's like it's the project's website. They have their own way to distribute it, and I really like the system that you guys thought of, because it's like it's a little bit, you never know what you're gonna get from these codes. So there's like
exactly.
the choice you have to make there. There's a cooldown. I really like it. Of course, people
Another
will
thing,
still try to game this, but it's a
yeah, and
lot
we've
better
been
than
fighting bots.
yeah.
We've got thousands of wax addresses that are blocked for us from people botting or multi-accounting and farming.
Yeah.
Something you'll appreciate, and I wish I could get into deeper with you. One of the reasons we built this claim system for our giveaways is because this is the system we're going to use to launch. So when we launch tomorrow, people will come into the store at Warsaken.cards, and it will look a little bit differently than this, but it'll function the same. And so we built the system so that it can have multi uses. And as we go on and implement staking and pack opening, it's all going to use the same system that we built from the ground up to kind of to work in the same way. So with our sale, there is no whitelist, but there will be RNG. So you'll go in, you'll select your card, you'll add them to the cart, and then you'll hit I think it's start purchase. And at that point, it'll give you an RNG, and you may get into the store and it may be say complete purchase, or you may get something that says tough luck soldier, you were not charged. Please refresh in 5 minutes. And so there's going to
Okay.
be a 5 minute cooldown for everybody, whether you're successful or not, before you can come back in and try again.
Ah, that's also cool. So it's basically like a bit like the queue system that the WDNY has, right? Ah, I like
Yeah,
that.
and so yeah, if you get your pack limit, then you can get back in line 5 minutes and come in and try again. So keep going around, and we may decrease the numbers as far as the cooldown and the RNG as we see how the sale goes. We
Hmm.
want to make sure we throttle it so our system and the Wax blockchain can handle it, because we want everything to go super smoothly, even if it takes a little bit longer. I know collections are tempted to just go and sell as fast as you can. We really want to get this sale, and we want it to insta sale. We want everybody to see it sell out like that. We're
Yeah.
more concerned with making sure everything goes smoothly and that a lot of people have the chance to buy packs.
Yeah, because you want to accommodate your player base, right? Not just people that want to flip it for
Yeah,
a cheaper. Yeah. There will be some
exactly.
salty people, you can already know, because the project is pretty big. You've have I think you did a lot of things right with this project, like the way that you set up the Discord with the giveaways, etc. People are hyped, stay in there for hours to catch stuff. So and it just grows the community. So that is really cool. And yeah, I just like a lot of the things that I see from the things that you did. So
We
it's
appreciate that. I know you've been in the space a long time, and you have done a lot of support for other projects. I just can't wait until I see the first calculator that you build for Warsaken Loot or something like that.
yeah,
Since you've done a lot of those calculators and the claim and all that
yeah.
stuff, haven't you?
Yeah, but the thing is, usually when I build something, it means the project dropped the ball. Because I only build
Okay.
stuff when I run into stuff that annoys me or annoys other people or limits something. Like for Alien Worlds, I made a bag tool because you would have to go into your Atomic Hub profile, find out the assets ID, build up a JSON string, then execute a contract manually to use more than one of the same type of tools. And I showed it to my wife, and she was like, "How am I supposed to do this on my phone? It's just impossible." So I was like, "Okay, let me see if I can build this." And that was the first thing that I built because she was physically unable to do it. Um,
Hmm.
and that's how most of the things I've built have started out. It's just a project not doing something that they should have, like sending people to blocks to execute raw contracts or
Yeah.
just things like that. Those are the most of the things that I've built, and so far I have not seen something that I was like, "Hey, they forgot that or they didn't do that right. Let me build something." So if you do everything right, you won't get anything.
Well, guess that's kind of a mixed blessing because I'd love
Yeah,
to, it'd be an honor to see. But now that I know where it comes from, I'm fine if it never happens. I first went through blocks. I read a tutorial, like a 12-step tutorial on how to use multiple of the same tools in Alien Worlds months and months ago.
mm,
It might have been before you had your tool because otherwise I would have just used your tool. I'm also an old time Our Planet guy since day one, so I've used that tool to claim all my
yeah.
elements many times. Did you do the first calculator that would tell you how much Aether and how much loot or wax and how many dollars you're making per day? Was that you also?
No, I made this one. Uh, Let me see the
Yeah, it's
colors.
gonna
Yeah,
take a second to come up on my screen. I'm delayed on the YouTube.
sorry, because I made the one with like the pink and blue background that changes.
Okay, yeah, that one I still use. It's so much easier than going and claiming all my individual lands.
Yeah, so it has a few things like it has something to add the tokens to your wallet, the claiming, but it's also like for people that have lots and lots of lands. Let's see, high mineral balance. No, it's like it also summarizes how many of each type of lands you have, etc. And it
Neat.
has when a new element came out, there was no way to view them, so I pulled it all from the contract, from the templates, and
Interesting.
visualized those and calculated for lands. I just keep adding stuff when there's a need to.
So what's next for you? What are you working on now then?
I have. Let's see.
I imagine in this space you've got a longer list of things you want to get done than time you actually have.
Yeah, because I made this small page to just show like some of the stuff that I did, like the projects page. So you might have seen some of them. The R Planet one, I made something for Clash Dome to claim your lands.
Hmm.
So yeah, I have land there, and the API isn't working. So I made actually a because some APIs are having issues. I recently added something to switch your backend that it uses, but I haven't added that to all the sites yet.
Very
So yeah,
cool. That's one of the things I love about Wax is everybody like there's so much interoperability. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but people just cooperating. And if something's not done, like you've done, you just go out and you create what you want to see. I know
yeah,
you get a lot of requests from people. People talk to you all the time, like, "Hey, build this, build that." And we've found a lot of collaboration, a lot of cooperation among different collections. We did the Allies of Warsaken tournament when we first kicked off our Discord, and let our fans choose 18 ally collections that are also going to be stakeable
yeah.
on Warsaken to get XP, and that went really well. We've had a lot of it's been really a lot of fun to get to know them and to work with them. Their staking is going to come out about 45 days after our staking. and ours is going to go live around January 5th. So it's still a little ways out, but we did want to push, like we've had the art done and the cards done for months. So we could have done the sale sooner if we would have just wanted to go on Atomic Hub, drop them and sell them. But we wanted to be closer to where people could use the cards, could stake, could do the whole thing. And so we're selling tomorrow. Pack opening may be up to a week delayed. We had some issues transitioning from credit card to wax only. We were looking for a way to do both and ended up having to go wax only because of the interface with MoonPay wasn't set up quick enough. And so that pushed back our pack opening up to a week and then our staking up to 3 weeks. But then after that, our first playable game is going to be about 2 months down the road. Warsaken Blitz should be early March by the time it gets out. And so people will be able to come in and play games, earn more XP, try out their decks, have a reason to collect more cards. And we're really excited about that one because there's so many projects in the space. It's hard to get so deep into one because then you end up putting off other ones. And so our plan was to create a game people can come in, play a quick 10-minute game. It's easy to learn. It's easy to make decks. It still uses the same basic mechanics as Warsaken with 1 leader, 4 territories, and a stack of 60 cards. But it'll not only get to the market a lot quicker than the full game, it also gives a lot of people, it gives us a lot broader base where people can come in and just try out the game, play some quick games, and move on without having to be a pro at the game.
Yeah, that's something that, like the casual entry point is, I think, important because a lot of people in this space don't have a lot of time to play the games. Actually, that's something that you see a lot. For like a game starts out as a simple clicker and has a massive influx, and then it builds out to a bigger game. You see a big drop off because people don't have the time to invest 2 hours into doing a run for something. So
Yeah.
so I think that's a good thing, and it's also really good to not focus too much on the sale and make sure that the rest is ready because that's something that you also see too much of. I think like a project that launches an NFT and then there's months of nothing, right? And then they do another sale and you still have to guess on when something will happen. So having those two closer to each other is important to keep it all alive, you know?
We got that question a lot, like, why is your sale so far away? Because when we first set the dates, it was months off. You know, it was 4 months or 5 months off. Maybe it was a ways off. And people would ask, why aren't you just selling now and then building everything? And that's, we wanted to be a lot closer. We didn't want to have sale after sale after sale before you could actually play. So we wanted it to be as close as possible.
Yeah. But you did a great thing to build the community leading up to the sale. So there was no reason to actually do this sale. I think you did a lot of things right. And if there's like a project that's like, hey, we want to do something on Wax, do you have a good example? I think so far, I think you set a pretty good example of how to do stuff. So I think you can be really proud of what you've done so far.
I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna put that on a T-shirt. Nick
Yeah.
Custer said Warsaken is the good example of everything done right on Wax.
Yeah.
Or I got to go back and listen to the video. It does mean a lot to hear you say that. You're so deep in so many projects, and you've got such a good eye because you watch them so closely. So that means a lot to hear you say that. I appreciate it.
No problem. Actually, the physical stuff is something that I'm curious about. You got a hell of a logo. It's pretty cool. It's like
Thanks.
army meets biker meets. You know, it's tough. It appeals to people.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, we just ordered hats. We're gonna have hats in for the team, and that's a really exciting thing that a lot of people are asking about. And then when we say yes, we're already planning that. They get even more excited. Loot is going to be able to buy loot packs. That's the main thing. You'll get 2 ultra premium slots and a loot slot that will have a random amount of between 200 loot and 2 million loot. But then you can also use loot for giveaways. Raffles. We're gonna have raffles that you can buy. We're gonna have in-game effects where you can buy a leader voice, where the leader says something when you play a card. You'll see a nuke across the war zone when you play it if you have that NFT in your wallet. And then also we're gonna try to get merch available for loot, so you can use your loot that you earn in game. And buy T-shirts or play mats or hats or whatever else. We've got some other ideas and really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a great move. I would actually have probably integrated that into this sale to have like a super special collector version, like limited between, I don't know, 50 to 500, and then you get like a play mat, maybe a first edition limited foiled set of physical cards and a T-shirt and a hat. Just like make something really cool for the collectors and or whales that like that stuff and just set a very high premium for it. I think there would be a market for that.
I think it would have gone over really well. We've got a great team. There's 4 of us on the main team. Excuse me. And then we've got, artists that we freelance. We've got some other developers that are helping out. And we've all been working really hard to get everything ready. Like you can see, we're pretty in-depth project. And so we would love to implement more things like that, but we're putting it down the line and getting stuff done as quick as we can. But we are trying to do it in order, like with everything the developer and the design team have built. Like I said, it's step by step moving forward, where everything we've built already is something we're going to use in the past.
So tell me a bit about the team. You said it's 4 people, and then you have freelance artists. So who are the 4 people?
So yeah, myself, I come from a crypto background. I'm also an author, a best-selling author, and so I'm the lore master and the crypto strategist. We've got Brandon, who is the creator of the game. He's also the design guru. He does the user interface. And so when you see the video, he made the trailer video. He laid out everything on the website. And then we've got our main developer, Dan, who has built everything on the back end and ties it in so that the website stuff that Brandon's building is all working. He built the claim code system. And then we've got Matt, who also is one of the co-creators of the game, and he's our business development manager. So he does a lot of the working with other with advertisers, with Atomic Hub, with Nefty, and he's already working on set 2. I've seen heard some of the mock-ups for the set 2, and I'm excited about those.
Yeah, that's cool because there's such a long lead time to everything. So you're probably already working on 2, maybe 3, and while the first one hasn't even dropped yet. So for the freelance artists, where did you get them? Is there are they easily to access? To one of the issues that you have is when you don't have the artist in house is that you get style breakings. Because if you have a lot of people making lots of stuff on their own, you tend to notice that at a given point. From what I've seen, It all looks good, but I haven't looked at it in a lot of detail. But do you have a plan to keep all the feel, etc., consistent?
We do, and that's a really good question. It is, as an author, I designed a lot of my own covers and worked with different artists, and it was hard to get someone consistently it's hard just to find someone to begin with. And so it was a lot of work, and it took almost 2 years to get all of the art complete, especially since it has to be the same style and have the same look. Yeah, and so after we launch, we are planning on bringing on 1 or 2 of our artists. Actually, I think 3 of them is what we have planned right now. That will be our core artists for the series. Ones that are already on the cards, you can already find their names on the cards, and they will work on a more contracted basis with us. Rather than card by card, it'll be something that we hire them more permanently, because we do want to have that continuity. We do want to have them available. We're on a timeline now, whereas before it was kind of like, we're building this, we have to do it in a budget, we have to do it piece by piece. But it's definitely something we've talked about. We want to make it so it comes out quicker and it works better, and we make sure that we're ensured the style continues as it is.
Mm-hmm. And as for the game itself, one of the things I watched the video of you and your son playing. Can you go over the mechanics of the game itself? And it started out as a physical game, and I get a lot of Magic the Gathering feeling just from how the 60 card decks and the 20 life. But I saw that you went down to 0 life, and then you were still not dead. There has been another action, and there's something with set. So can you quickly go over the game with me? This was Blitz. This is a short 1v1.
Exactly. Yes. This is Blitz. And all of the games we have the same layout, where you set the table up the same. And the goal is always to take out the enemy leader. And so the game's not over until you eliminate the leader, but you can't attack the leader until they're compromised. And for them to be compromised, they either have to have 0 morale, they have to have all the territories destroyed, all 4 of the starting territories, or you have to mill down their deck to 0, so they have no draw pile. And so any of those 3 things happen, those 3 things, then the leader's compromised, and then you can attack the leader. And so in Blitz, you have to have Blitz is all about making matches. So if you make a match of 3 of the same card in your hand, then you can play those as a match. And if you have 3 forces, you can either take out an enemy territory, or the leader if the leader's compromised. If you have a WMD, you can take out 2 enemy territories, but you can only do that once in a game.
Okay.
If you have a match of morale, then you can do 6 damage to their morale. And that's how he beat me, is he took out my morale. That's the score you see on the screen. And so I had 0 morale, and then he had a force match, and he used that to eliminate my leader.
Okay.
And so it doesn't use all the mechanics. Like on the cards, we have crack shot, we have stealth, we have keen, we have armored, and we have a bunch of other ones. And each of those has their own action that as you play that interacts and you use the strategy. And so it's more involved, but with Blitz, none of those come into effect, but you still get a feel for the game, and you can play a lot more games in a short amount of time, and you can, it all comes down to the type of the card and not necessarily the mechanics. So this is kind of a cool thing, because if you have cards that you might not want to play with or may not be as valuable in your strategy for Warsaken, if you have 4 of those same of those same cards, you can put them in a Blitz deck and they'll do just fine. It just depends on what type they are. It doesn't matter if they're rank 1 or 4. It gives you kind of a more use for your inventory and different ways to play them. So you may, I think most people who are serious about it are going to have their decks that are Warsaken decks, and then also their Blitz decks.
Yeah.
And we,
okay.
yeah.
And
we will have a free to play option, and we will have a subscription model. So if you don't have hundreds of NFTs to play with, or 70, 80, whatever it's going to take to build a deck that you want, you can play for free with a couple of pre-built decks and try the game. You can also get a subscription. It's going to be somewhere between $3 and $5 a month, and you can play with all of the standard cards and make whatever decks you want.
That's cool. The subscription, will that be payable in wax as well?
We are not sure. We're thinking the subscriptions will be credit card or loot. And then for future pack sales, we're not sure if we're going to stick with wax or go to credit card or make them available by both. We're still testing those waters at this point, because our initial pack sale is selling 1/3 of our cards, and then we're going to have a monthly sale for the next 11 months to sell the rest of the cards in this mint. So the mint numbers you see on the cards are for the whole year, even though they're not all being sold right now.
Yeah, I got that from the previous interview. Right. I just wonder why you would prefer the credit card for the subscription thing, because of the recurring billing, or because there's like a lot of risk involved with accepting credit card, like chargeback fees can really kill a project. Like if somebody that's carding and tests out credit cards on your site, you're effed. And there's such a high premium over every transaction. I just thought that if you're already in wax, why not also accept wax as payment there?
Those are really good questions, especially where we have so many international fans, because some people just don't have credit cards in other countries, or they may not have, they may be blocked by certain credit card users. I know that's what happened with Hot Wheels, is all of the Russia and all the other CIS countries got blocked because of the fraud concerns. So it's something we're going to look at, and we haven't decided 100%, but we will have a combined options where it will be a little bit of this and a little bit of that for different people.
Okay. And you don't have to limit it to wax. It would be nice to see an option to, I really like wax myself. I don't even look at the monetary value of wax. I just use it because I can never keep a balance anyways. But so I when I see stuff that interacts with wax and then limits stuff to credit card, I always wonder what the reason for that is. So I don't mind if you do wax and credit card and whatever else, but I just wonder, if you interact with wax, why not accept it as a payment as well?
And I wish I could talk more about the behind the scene details. I mean, I'm in the meetings, the strategic meetings, but as far as setting that up, I'm not the one that makes those contracts, so I don't understand all of the information.
We don't have to go into it. It just, if you ever find out, I'm really curious to hear more about it. So we don't have to do that on stream.
Your observations are super astute. I mean, those are legit concerns, and I think the best way to set it up is to have it available for everybody, to have credit card and wax across the board. I don't know what the implications of that are, but we'll definitely look at that in the future.
Okay. So you said you start out with 4 lands. Are there differences between the lands? What impact do they have on the game?
Yeah, there are big differences. They each have they don't have an attack value because they're just territories. They each have a different health. Everything from down around 300. I think there's one that has 280. all the way up to like 600 or 650. I don't, you stumped me on that one. I don't know the exact numbers. And so you have to do that much damage to the territory to take it out. Each of them produce resources. Some of them produce two resources, but then you pay for it in how much health they have or in the amount of morale damage they do when they're eliminated. So when they're eliminated, you lose some morale for each one. And so it really does take strategy. And since they each produce different resources, you got to decide: I need a food, I need a power, and then I'm just going to do a generic and a fuel. But if your deck is so broad that you need all of them, and you lose one territory, now all of a sudden you can't produce any food, and that's really going to hurt you. With resources, though, you can use any two resources to create one that you need to make up the difference. And so you can always substitute in that case, but it gets pretty expensive if you're doing that.
Yeah, you have to align that. And like, oh, we lost the video there. Are you still here?
I am still here. Sorry about that.
No worries. We can keep talking while you figure out that.
All right, I'm back.
It's back. So I just wanted, in Blitz, do the resources come into play there as well? Because I didn't pick up on that while you were playing.
No, but the morale loss does come into it. And so when you lose morale, so you're going to want to pick territories on that doesn't do a lot of damage to your morale when you lose them.
Okay. And like the WMD, you can use only one per game. How many can you put in your deck? Is that up to you?
You can put as many, there's up to 4 copies of each card. But if you want to build a deck that's all WMDs, you're going to end up with a lot in your hand that you just can't play because you've already done a WMD. So it's going to be something that you only want to put like one set of 4, maybe 2 sets of 4, because otherwise they're just going to clog things up.
Okay, so you can have only 4 of the same card in your deck, and you need to have, for some of the action, you need to have 3 to trigger something, and for the other one it was 4, right? Or
all of the matches are 3.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then, the intel is one. If you have intel match, then you can bounce 3 cards from your enemy's war zone, or 3 cards from their hand, or 6 from their deck. So you have some choices to make even with the individual matches. But it'll be simple to learn, especially digital, because you go in and it's like, okay, now what do you want to, here's your options, and then you click and you choose that option. Yeah. It'll take 60 seconds to learn or less.
That's a big benefit for because I try to teach people to play paper-based Magic, and that's that's very hard. But if you get them into one of the more friendlier digital versions, it's so much easier to explain because there are so many rules and steps, and
yeah, and it's so nice when the computer does all that for you. And I find that with any trading card game, basically, even board games, I tend to like digital a lot of times because they'll walk you through the steps and they do all the setup. My wife and I have been playing Rummy Cube. I don't know if you played that, but it's fun to play on the table. But it's a lot of shuffling tiles, but on the computer, you just put it out there and the computer does the work for you.
I actually like the shuffling and figure it all out. It's to the detriment of others sometimes, but yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to play it once. As for the dice, it determines how many actions you can do. Is drawing a card an action? Because from the video, I'm just missing some things to figure out how it all works. So like, is drawing a card an action and playing a card an action, or how does it work?
So you draw however many cards you roll. So the dice roll is very important because it gives you both of those: how many cards you draw and then how many actions you have.
That's pretty OP.
Yeah, it is, and that's why I lost to my son in the video. There, he was rolling better than I was, and I would have beat him if we would have had the same rolls. But he just got lucky in that one. No, he beat me a number of times in a row in Blitz, and I just kept coming back and like another one, let's keep going, and because I couldn't end on a loss. But it is fun to introduce that luck and then also the strategy, because then if you roll low, then you're like, well, I only got a 2. I can only put 2 of these cards out right now. If I do, then I'll be that close to playing him on the next turn, but also he could bounce him with intel. So for a relatively simple and easy to learn game, there's enough strategy where you can get better at it and you can improve your game and try different things out and try different decks out, an intel heavy deck versus a force heavy deck.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of randomness because of the dice roll, so that even a novice player can beat the pros just because of a bit of luck there, right? More resources, more actions, yeah. So that will make it, because that's one of the issues that you have with a game like Magic. If you're playing against a very skilled player, you can give him the biggest garbage and he will still win most of the time, just because of how they can manipulate everything that's going on. I'm really looking forward to try the game.
We should have you on and do like a celebrity match or something like that when you once you figure out the basics of it. We've had people in our Discord talk about they want to play against each other. There's one Grevinator's been challenging me since day one. He wants to play against me, and so we do plan on having like a lobby or a room where you can get together, play with friends, play with people you know, because it is so much more fun when you know the person across the table from you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've talked about Magic a few times. I really liked it. I would actually watch like the televised games, etc. So I don't know how the game goes. If it's rounded out well enough, maybe we'll have televised contests of Warsaken in a year or two.
We're hoping we're going to stream some of our own, and other people have already approached us about streaming some. But yeah, it's going to come down to how good of a game it actually is, and I have a lot of confidence in it. I mean, before we even decided to bring it to the blockchain, I was excited about it and really psyched about the art on the cards and the mechanics and how well thought out everything was and the variety, how many different ways you can build a deck. And I think one thing you'll be excited about as a gamer, and you may have heard this in another interview, we built it so that if you have all the premium cards, you can't come in and smash somebody. There are a couple cards where you get a slight advantage, like 10 extra health, or you can use generic resources for that card instead of specific ones. But for the most part, any common deck should be able to go up against just about any other deck.
Yeah, that's nice. It's
But you get more XP for playing with premium cards, and so then you get more loot for that. So if you want to earn, then you have. So there's a reason to get the premium cards besides just the fact that they're so cool, and but you don't need them to come in and win and actually play and enjoy the game.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I like everything you've done so far, and yeah, I'm I'm having all these ideas already, so I'm really
Awesome. Yeah,
curious to see how it goes.
can't wait to sit down across the table from you and play a game.
Sure, we should do that sometime.
Yeah.
And there's not much for me to go into on the tech side so far. But I think I want to do a follow up in a bit when there's more exposed and I've got a chance to look at some things. But
I will bring Brandon back with me. He speaks that language a lot better than I do, and he'd be happy to sit down and talk. And you guys, I'll be lost. I'll be feeling like you're speaking another language, but he'd be a good one. Maybe we can even get Dan, our lead developer, to come on and do one once things calm down. We are as soon as the pack sale, the first thing we're going to do is hire some more developers to start building the game as fast as possible, and we're going to work on our Discord to make it so we can do giveaways for specific people to cut down on the farming and the bots, to reward our loyal players and loyal Discord members. But we're going to be moving quick on that. But I think once launch is over, then they will have a little bit more time to sit down and do some interviews, meet some people, and answer some questions. Because you do have some really good questions, as we've already seen in this interview.
yeah, but I wish I could remember them all because while you're talking, and you're actually a great person to interview because you can just keep talking, and I can tell how passionate you are and how excited you are for this. It's like while you're talking, I have 40 more questions, and by the time that you're done, I was like, damn it. So
Yeah,
yeah,
part of it is just being excited. You're well known in the space, and everybody talks about you. And to sit down and meet you and get some of those really good questions, some of them that I haven't heard, even though I've done a bunch of interviews. This is the last one, by the way. This is the last interview we're doing before launch. So this is the big kickoff, the big finale.
I'm excited to see, and I think you'll do really well. As I said, like the community that you've built seems pretty strong and hyped. So yeah, I think this will be very good. Let me see if we have some things in chat that we
Great.
missed. I try to keep an eye on it for a bit, but I keep getting distracted. I see this Nicholas is German. No, I'm Dutch, and somebody already answered that. How will the pre-launch party go? That's a good question.
Yeah, so tonight at 10 p.m. Pacific, we're going to do a 2-hour party. And then tomorrow, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, so right before launch, it's going to be in our Discord. We've got a bunch of giveaways. Our moderators are running some games. We're going to give away 1 million loot between tonight and tomorrow. We're going to drop some wax. It's going to be a party. Anyone who's been in there before, when we hit 10K in our Discord, when we hit 15K, when we hit 20K, we had some parties. And I don't think anybody will be disappointed with what we do tonight.
That's cool. I need to see when that is if I'm still up because it's already late here. It's already 10 p.m. here, so I
Okay.
don't think I'll be awake for that. But I'll
It's
try to
in
see. Sorry.
it's in about 9 hours is the first one, and then we did the other one at a different time of day on purpose. So if you can't make the 10 p.m. one, hopefully you can make the 1 p.m. one. So two different, totally different times a day for people all over the world to catch one or the other.
Yeah, that will be early morning for me, I think. So that will be cool. Let's see. My friend suggested me about this since that day. I'm hooked to Warsaken, made a family. It's a good platform to share emotions and love and compassion have for each other too. Do visit Warsaken DC. Yeah, the Discord is a buzzing group that's very hyped for everything that you do there. So yeah, it's really cool.
So it makes us so proud. We do spend a lot of time cultivating the Discord, but most of the work is done by the Legion. People are just helpful. If someone kind of steps out of line, other people will put them back in line without being rude or derogatory. So a huge shout out to the Legion. We've got some awesome mods. So I can't say enough good things about them. I did see someone ask about the rarity of cards and will it affect blitz play. And that's one really cool thing about it. If you've got a blood foil of one card, a promo of the same card, and a hacked version of the same card, you can play all of those and they're still a match. And so you can have all of your cards that you own. You can see them side by side because seeing the different effects on each different card just makes me happy. The way each effect interacts with the art is just really cool.
Do you have a visual of how that looks, or do we have to wait for that one? It's like when you play one of the special cards.
We don't have no, we don't have any of the effects
Okay.
handy in that trailer, the teaser video you
Hmm.
played. That's somewhat of what it'll look like with the sniper shots going, with the nukes launching and blasting off. We do have some variation of cards if you want to see a few of the more of the cards. I don't know if there's any more questions in the chat.
No, I don't think so.
We did it. We answered all the questions. Everybody's satisfied.
Yeah, let me just scroll a bit. This is one is cool. I was just getting used to play white paper games, and then Warsaken came around and changed things.
That's that's really nice of you to say. We are all about helping everybody in the space get along, get more audience, build this wax space because every person that comes to wax is somebody else to look at all the games in wax, to buy the token, and to learn about this great blockchain.
Yeah, and somebody here, I expected that. I'm planning to buy three premium packs, but most importantly, can we find T-shirts in the pack? I really think projects should do that more because, as silly as it sounds, people really love to get just like a T-shirt, and it costs you probably like 15 to 20 bucks max international, and depending on where it goes, lower. I think it's just adding, even if it's 10 or 50 T-shirts on thousands of packs, people will love that. It's just
I agree. Maybe we can look at that for our first. I don't know how long it'll take us to put that in the loot store, but maybe we can get that in the loot store very quickly. I would love to see that.
Yeah, it would be cool. I'll save up to get a T-shirt. Let me see. You sent me a link with some
Yeah,
of the
it just
cards.
shows the different variations of the cards. You may have seen them, but it's something that's really, really cool to look at. Just the foil and the hacked and the camo and the different versions. I'm going to answer this question by Grevinator real quick. It says, question, do you really think you can beat me, Coleman?
Getting personal
Of
here.
course, I think I can beat you, Grevinator. Every deck that I made so deck, and if one of them doesn't work, the next one will. So I've been questioning all your friends and family, people you grew up playing card games with, and I am going to bring it, and you're going down. Most of that was hyperbole, but I got to throw that out there.
And you've seen some of these, like this. I have one of the cards on screen now. I can imagine this will be like the foil effect in real life. Oh yeah, that was one of the things that I was asking. It started out as a physical game. You have a physical game to play. You saw the video. When will there be a release of the physical version as well?
It will be in 2022 as soon as we can get it done. We have it all laid out with different packs and how those will go. We're still working on. We have a couple different options for who the printer is going to be and how we're going to distribute them. But we do want to do it as quick as we can, and we're planning on including claim codes in there for an exclusive NFT set, so you can get Volkov's Escape NFTs out of those, and that's the only place those cards will exist. is in those claim packs. So they won't be physical, probably. They won't be sold on the blockchain, but in those physical packs, you can get them. That being said, the space is changing so fast, and with VIRL becoming so popular, we may tweak that, and we may go to something where you can have physical and digital ownership. So, all of our plans, we have great plans, but if the space changes and we can bring a better game using the space and the technology, then we're adaptable and we're willing to look at that.
As for the effect, the hacked one is my favorite. I think I really love the the glitchiness of this one. Yeah, and like
The really
Magic the
cool thing is
Gathering
it
has
looks
that
different.
feature. Like if you have a complete set of every card, you can request a redemption. It will be removed from your Magic the Gathering online account, and then you receive a physical copy if you pay the shipping. So
Very cool.
that's something
That's
that's
yeah, that's pretty forward thinking because it is tied, so it is so similar to VIRL, but it's obviously only in the not on the blockchain, but that's cool. It's interesting how each effect has a different look on each card. On this mech, it looks really cool, but even if you put it on leader or if you put it on a territory and you get that hacked, you're like, oh man, that's cool. So it's always fun to go through the different cards and to see new combinations. There's so many. There's 10 different effects or more, and there's 268 different cards. And so there's some of them I haven't even seen yet. And every time I see one of these new ones, or see a new one, it blows me away.
I like the thermal ash as well.
That's my favorite. Thermal ashes is my very favorite. Just the effect. It's not the most rare. It's pretty close. Um, but yeah, I'm a firefighter and paramedic. That's my career, my day job. And so this looks so similar to the thermal cameras that we use. It just makes me feel like I'm really there, like I'm right there in the war zone.
That's pretty cool. Did you say firefighter and paramedic?
Yeah, that's what I've done for the last 21 years. That's been my career.
Because superhero wasn't available, right?
I'm
That's
gonna
pretty
be.
good.
That's why I'm playing Warsaken. I want to be a real hero. I want to be a soldier. Those are my heroes. We do have a lot of respect, the whole team, for veterans. And one of the great things about this is it's a fun and safe place to sit down, get your aggressions out, have your battle. We've got people all over the world that are best friends now that live in different countries and will probably never meet in life. But we did a big event for Veterans Day. We told anyone who donates to any veterans charity anywhere in the world, we'd give them a free card, and then depending on how much they donate, we send them different cards. And we
That's
raised
cool.
over $6,000 just all over the world, and in some places, that kind of money goes really far. In Russia and the Philippines and Venezuela, we have a lot of fans there, and a little bit of money can go a long way. And so we were really touched. I actually made my first donation ever to a veterans charity based on that. I was inspired by someone in the Legion who reached out to me from Russia. Actually, his grandpa was a veteran in World War II, and so was mine. And so we were just thinking about our grandpas. How many years has it been? 70 years ago, being allies, and now here we are being allies in this war game. It was just a little kind of meta, kind of a special moment there for a second to have that connection.
Yeah, that's touching, and it's cool to do stuff like that when you can. It's nice when you have like a voice that reaches out that you do something good with it. So it's
Yeah,
a very
and we are
commendable.
going to donate a portion of the proceeds of our sale tomorrow to Wounded Warrior Project, which is an American veterans charity.
Yeah, I know the program. There's some TV show from a long time ago. I remember they did stuff for that as well. Wounded Warrior.
And they may be worldwide. I'm not sure if they are or not, but yeah, we're going to make a donation to them with our initial pack sale.
That's really cool. Oh man, I feel like we could talk for a lot longer.
I
And
agree. We'll have to come back on. I'll bring someone that knows more of the tech side, and you have to build some of those questions up in preparation for that.
yeah, let's do that. And yeah, let's keep in touch. I'm gonna try to buy some packs tomorrow. See if I can get through.
Good luck. I hope the RNG is nice to you and all of your the people who have listened to us and your fans. So yeah, good luck.
Yep. Maybe send me a link to the drop or each the link where they have to go to tomorrow, and I'll put that in the video description as well.
Perfect. I will send you that right now. It's at warsaken.cards. If anyone is just listening in and wants to find it easily, warsaken.cards is the best place to go.
And then just to buy now, it takes you to the store.
Yeah,
right?
you'll see the store right prominently on the page. It's at the top. So Warsaken.cards/store. Just sent you the link in the
Yep,
Discord. So
there you go. Man, this looks cool as well.
we were really happy with how all the design is coming and how everything's looking. So I really appreciate, because I know you do a lot of design and layout and stuff like that. So your opinion means a lot.
Way too much credit for me. I really like the way you've done stuff so far. I'm really looking forward to see how the buying process goes tomorrow. It's always exciting when lots of people rush in and see if everything holds up. And yeah,
More and more, we're seeing people outside of Wax that are coming in. Like, we're helping people set up Wax wallets and stake CPU and all that every day. So we're just planning on increasing that, because we think that's where our growth is going to come from. Like in Wax, we're pretty well known at this point, but our growth is going to come from outside. And so we want to bring as many as people as we can into Wax, who are gamers, who are NFT enthusiasts, who are crypto, and just expose them to the Wax ecosystem.
yeah. That's one of the challenges though. For like, I really love Wax because I said it before, like the feeless way that it works enables so much interaction and stuff that you can do. There's like you can do tiny things that if you go even to a chain with small fees of a few cents, you won't do. Like there's this simple clicker game that you increase your levels, and while playing it, you do it maybe 100 times. On Wax, that's an option. If you do that on BSC,
Exactly.
you go broke in a day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Yeah.
even
You can
get
never
started
play
on Ethereum
half
or
the
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Yep,
But
exactly.
the
When I got
biggest
into Wax, I
now go
go ahead.
now go ahead.
When I got into Wax, I brought a very small amount of Bitcoin that I had in, and it was a couple $100s or something. And so I didn't have a lot of Wax, so I was scouring the market, the auctions, like trying to buy something as cheap as I could, and then flipping it and adding to my balance, and playing every game I could and clicking as much as I could to build that up. And because talking, and I know a lot of people have this experience. Talking to my wife, she didn't understand crypto. She's like, "Please don't spend a lot of our money doing that." It's so. She's really happy now with how things are going, but starting out, yeah, it was a lot of just those tiny microtransactions that I would build, whether it was crafting in a game or whether it was buying and selling something that I could make one or two Wax on.
Yeah,
It took me a while to build up something.
yeah. Actually it was just the start of this year. But if you look at, you could actually start with nothing. You could create a wallet. Wax would stake one Wax of CPU, one Wax of net, and a little bit of
Hmm.
RAM, and you could start. I remember like playing Alien World, selling TLM to buy better tools, playing Kolobok to get staking on our planet for free,
Hmm.
and you could just develop your wallet that way, just actually an actual play to earn. By now, the CPU has increased a lot, and that's one of the biggest hurdles to get people to understand Wax is to explain like the CPU. I made this site. I don't know if you ever seen that before, but this is like dynamically loading how busy Wax is and how that affects your CPU. So if I log in
I'm
here,
waiting. I haven't seen it before. It still hasn't come up any second now.
okay.
That's a really good idea.
So this
Okay,
shows
cool.
actually the chain CPU allotment, and this is an indication of how busy the Wax blockchain is. So if I set the resolution to 1 second, it will update constantly. Um, and the lower this number gets, the busier Wax is. So for the last little bit, it was 0.5 seconds. So now you actually get a lot of CPU time for your staked Wax. Um, so for my web wallet, I have just over 2,000 Wax staked. I have 60 milliseconds of execution in the past 24 hours. And because the network isn't that busy, I get allotted just over 500 milliseconds. But as this goes up or down,
Interesting.
so does this change, right? So you can see it get busy. So now my maximum that I'm allowed to execute goes down. And that is what you see like, hey, I was at 50%. Now I'm at 120%. What happened? Well, this part, your maximum is dynamic based on how much you stake and how much the Wax blockchain is busy. So
Wow.
understanding
So what's
this
going to happen?
sorry?
Oh, go ahead. Understanding this.
Yeah, so understanding this concept is something that new people on Wax will have to understand to get like an idea of why can't I do stuff, or why do I need to add more CPU? And the biggest thing is, once you explain that what you staked here, you can always pull it out and get it back after 3 days and sell it if you're not happy. Um, Basically means that this is like a saving jar, piggy bank that you put wax in. Trusting or saving up some wax that you don't touch lets you use the blockchain, and it will. And it might be a nice set of a nice saving after a while.
Yeah, and you can earn a little bit of interest on it, which is nice if you go in and
Yeah,
claim.
and
What's going
vote.
to happen right here on this table tomorrow when we start selling? Is it going to have enough impact on the space that the CPU is going to shoot up in price, or the availability is going to go way down, or are
Um,
we past that?
yeah, the thing is, the things that move these are tens and hundreds of thousands of accounts doing stuff simultaneously. So um, you saw this with like one of the Sony projects. I can't remember the name, but they were minting packs, and that had a big impact for a short while. So that you see, okay, my CPU allotment is divided in three. It You can see Alien Worlds is usually the biggest factor on all of this, because it's the biggest user of Wax transactions. So whenever Alien World goes down, or there are a lot of bots that get caught, this jumps up to 200, which is the max. So that happened a few times before, and you can really see just the impact of that single dApp, which is also, I don't. We should get into it fully, but there have been talks of like, okay, once you reach a certain size, you have to think: do you need to do everything on the main chain, or should you move stuff to a side chain specifically to offload stuff like that? So what they could do is have all the mining actions on their own clone of Wax, and just sync the result of that frequently, and that would alleviate a lot of pressure on Wax. So yeah.
I know our dev team has had discussions like this, and I think a lot of what we've got is built so that it doesn't do everything on Wax. I think they took that into consideration and have a lot of the processes go in our on our chain. So when you click through to claim the links that we did, and I think when you buy the packs, when you do upgrades, I think as much as we can do on our own system is being done that way, and then tying it in with Wax, like you said, verifying or and that'd be a good question later on when we come back to talk about, because I don't understand, but I know that I've heard that discussion and it makes a lot of sense now that you explain it like this.
Yeah, and one of the moves that you could do, let's say, I don't know how the game is set up yet and how everything goes, but if you look at our planet and prospectors, for instance, they've actually changed stuff that they now pay for your CPU. So
Hmm.
they have a way that if you use their own site to do stuff, you can always go around that and do it directly on the chain and pay for it yourself. But if you use, for instance, the R Planet generator on their site themselves, they pay for all the CPU. So you can have a wallet with zero wax in it, zero wax staked, and still use their app. But that obviously takes millions and millions of wax staked to facilitate stuff like that. So depending on
Hmm.
the amount of actions that you have to do and the player base, yeah, that could be an option for you as well. If you find that like 80% of people stop because it's just impossible to add 1,000 wax to just cover the CPU cost, you
Uh-huh.
could look at having a resource pool for yourself to do that. And there are ways to do that yourself, and there are ways to do that with the Wax team. They have a boost system that you can, for people that use the cloud wallet, that add resources in there. But yeah, I think I should talk to a technical person. This might be going a bit
Yeah.
too deep, but there are ways to solve stuff, right?
There is, and I know our gameplay will take place off of the blockchain. So you will
Okay.
come in and they'll verify everything on the blockchain, then you play the game, and then the rewards and everything will be issued on the blockchain. So I know that most of the game itself will take place off the blockchain. I think that's probably exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah, then you won't have much of an issue, I think. You can
Yeah.
probably even
Well,
still register for like the boost, and you get a few transactions for free from the Wax team as well. So you could set it up in a way that light players also don't have a zero impact on their CPU when playing Warsaken. So
yeah. Yeah, we're trying to really solve those problems. Whether we stake, you come in and you buy something and we stake resources for you, or we walk people through it, or whatever we have to do, we are considering that. And so yeah, all of those options and solutions are really really important, I think, to get everybody onboarded.
Okay. Well, I'm really curious to see how it all goes, and excited. And I hope that everybody that has been watching is excited for Warsaken as well. So party in 9 hours
Appreciate
and drop,
Party is starts in, yep, in about 9 hours.
and the drop was just over a day, right? I think
Yeah, 1 day and a little bit less than 2 hours, so
1 day,
about
one
25
hour
and
and
a half
46
hours.
minutes. Yes. Okay. Well, I want to
So
thank
close.
everybody for tuning in. I had a great time talking to you. It was a bit chaotic getting started with a bit of technical difficulties, but it was nice to have a short chat, and I really want to revisit this once more of the game goes live.
Thanks. So look forward to it. It was really good getting to know you and chatting with you. Appreciate you having us. And yeah, after I beat Grevinator, then you and I can sit down and play together.
You should record that match and upload it somewhere, right?
I think we're gonna have to at this point. Yeah, let people wager on it. Have live streamed in our Discord.
Nice. Okay. Well, very good luck, and see you soon. Bye bye.
Thanks.
And that's end of stream. Whew.
Cool.